instead of the front way because that's scary when he's in sweatpants.
Well, that was the first episode.
It's a scary scene, man.
I like how we're starting when nobody knows exactly what we're saying. Nick,
I like it. It's a cold open.
Very cold.
I've been watching a lot of The Office, so I'm cool.
Oh, yeah, now I got to remember the rhythm. Yeah, here we go. There's snow outside. So grab your sled and go for a ride. As long as I have fun and I don't wind up dead, I'll always sled forever in blue jeans. Kids stand back. Time to let daddy take a whack at that. As long as I don't hear a crack or wind up dead, I'll always sled forever in blue jeans. That's for Matt.
I gotta say, Nick, that's your best one yet, and I'm being serious. That was funny.
It's really sad because we have this breaking news. Owen and Bruce broke up. Yeah, we lost all of our guest hosts because they just had no.
Wow, you just upset 3 people.
Yeah,
unlike Pierce Morgan over here. Okay, I can't take it.
Yeah, I was humming that song all week. My wife goes, "Why are you singing that?" I go, "Oh, because Matt wears blue jeans when he's sledding."
I don't sled with blue jeans. Let's just clear the record here. I have never slid in blue jeans.
Hey, are you out of those painkillers? Painkillers? Did you seem a little edgy today?
No, actually, I haven't been on the pain pills since 3 days after the surgery.
Okay, let's go get you some because you're cranky.
I got the stitches out today, so very excited.
Oh, good for you! Nice.
Thanks. Yeah, and I didn't pass out or have a vagal response, so that was a bonus. And they took some new X-rays, and so I thought I would go ahead and share what the X-ray looks like here. So
were you hoping for like a Wolverine type thing?
Just straight up denim?
Metal? Yeah, there we go. Like it's just nice here. Yeah.
What did they do? They put a centipede in your shoulder?
A lot of screws, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hey, wait! Some of the screws are falling out.
No,
bionic man.
No, the screws that are going at the side, that's to hold in a small fragment. So remember, the bone is broken in a few places.
They couldn't just use glue?
No, I wish I would have gotten a picture of the top-down view because there's a top-down view and it looks like it's kind of crazy, like how it looks.
Yeah, you could tell at one time you were a smoker.
Really? You can tell that from my lungs there?
Yeah, I can tell that, yeah.
Huh. I don't trust your X-ray knowledge, Mr. Doc. So
I've watched a lot of I watched every episode of ER at least 3 times. I watched all the doctor shows of the 70s, St. Elsewhere. So Scrubs. There you go, and all of them. So I think you should. I think you're smart to quit smoking because it looks bad.
Thanks. I'm not going to share any more medical data with you. Thanks a lot. I just broke a bunch of HIPAA laws here.
That's what I was about to say, yeah.
So I don't care. I mean, I was excited because they left it up. By the way, I'm glad that the doctor had better nurses with bedside manner in the operating area than in his actual office, because his office nurse, oh my gosh, like she had the personality of like Jack. I mean, it was just like so like bland and like boring. It was just like she could have given a fuck less. So
she's not there to entertain you. She's there to do a job.
I take off my shirt because she's like, oh, I'm going to take out your stitches. Then she leaves the door wide open. I'm like, no privacy here, like at all. So
what's it like? It's not like she made you take off your jeans. Am I right?
I actually have photo proof that I don't wear jeans.
Oh, we saw the photo. You laying there in the bed.
I told you guys. My wife actually took off my overalls. I came into the hospital with these snow overalls that I have. They're an awesome pair. God bless my wife because she has bought all of my snow clothes for me. And you guys just happen to be jerks. That
I saw you posted.
With.
I saw you posted a picture of the snow stuff, but it still had the tags on. So yeah, I'm not buying it.
You didn't see that. Whatever.
Why can't you have? Why aren't you allowed to have your X-rays?
You know what? I think Chris has a better story to tell. Chris, don't you have some?
Oh, well, we should at least mention that Eric was very happy that you got X-rays. He got X-rays too, and you're forever bone buddies.
We are bone buddies forever, Eric. Thank you so much. You have snowveralls. Yes, thank you, Eric.
I like
snowveralls.
Yeah, snover jeans.
Or were they jean overalls?
No, in fact, last week when we were doing the podcast, I walked away several times because I went looking for them. But my wife put all of the snow gear up for the season because she was like, "Well, clearly we're done." It's kind of like when somebody breaks their bone. It's like, well, can't have any fun anymore.
Are your overalls just jeans with suspenders?
That's what I figured they were.
Yeah, I figured like Mort from Mort, the rainbows.
All right, I'm gonna find this. Chris, don't you have a story to tell or something to get these assholes off?
I got a few stories. So it's been a fucking week, man. You
might as well say it's been a fucking year because
and 2021 has proven to be shitty.
2020 2.0.
Yeah, it really has been. I'll try and be a little bit brief about I have a two-sided story here, so I'll be brief about the sad part, and I'm going to kind of jump in a little bit in more at length in the
I'm glad you said sad part. Now I want to interrupt you.
That was my my precursor to the story.
I don't give a fuck.
So last week. Sorry, Matt, you're gonna feel like shit in a second.
No. I know what you're gonna say because you told us at the beginning of last week that.
Last week I had one of my employees passed away very suddenly. 22 years old.
Wow.
It was a real weird freak thing where he essentially had some. They haven't really quite figured it out yet, but he had some type of blood disease, I think it was, that was causing him to have a lot of issues where he was starting to really feel like shit. I actually talked to him like 2.5 weeks ago. He's really feeling like shit. And so much so, like his legs were shaking, his legs were in pain. Went to the hospital. And they had to run all these tests on him, and then they transferred him to a Boston hospital. And they actually had to medically induce a coma for him to do some of the tests that he was going to go undergo because of his inability to sit still due to some of the symptoms he was having. And unfortunately, while under his medically induced coma, he had a blood clot that killed him. Yeah, man, it was really hard. It's been a hard week. Like I wasn't like, I mean, I was close to them. Like I was close to him as he worked with us, and especially during quarantine earlier this year when we were closed, and he was on my team. So he was somebody that I talked to recently, and he was just one of those kids who was just the brightest bulb in the room. He lit up the room every time he walked in. And it's really sad to see and it's sad to go through. And it's equally hard to do that with a team of people, as large as mine, and kind of all going through at the same time. So it was trying week.
Only 22 years old. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It was super sad, and it's easier to talk about it, and it's therapeutic to talk about it, I guess. And it's been such a hard week dealing with that, but at the same time as also being, that person that people can depend on and lean on at work. And it's been tough, and it's kind of had a bit of a toll, on many people, including myself. So that was that's the sad part of my week. But I guess my moral to the story is that never take for granted the people around you, and always, reach out to say hello to people you haven't. Which leads me to the other story I really wanted to share that has really kind of, in a time in which we're going through right now, that I'm experiencing now with work and everyone's experiencing with this crazy bullshit that we have to going through with the pandemic.
And Pepe Le Pew getting canceled.
Yeah. Dude. But here's the thing. So I want to echo the idea of reaching out to people as much as you can, especially if you're thinking about something or somebody or whatever. I think that it's a lesson to be learned because you never know, you never know what could happen. So always making sure people around you, people are important to you, know that you're thinking about them and you want them to be in your life. Which leads me to the yang to the yin of this story. Is that something that happened in the last 24 hours that it's really kind of blown my mind. I'm going to rewind back to 1996, 7, going back, a long time ago. America Online. Who here was on America Online back in the mid 90s?
Whatever.
Right. So
I don't think we had a computer till 98 or something like that.
So I'm going to try and get through this story as abbreviated as possible because there's so many details I could share that I'm not going to. But
you were in blue jeans, weren't you?
Probably.
He was in the wide leg ones that were really popular back then.
Dude, yeah, for sure. For the Jinkos.
The Jinkos.
Dude,
that's
it.
Jinkos.
For sure. Dude, yeah. Oh man. Back in high school, I had bleached blonde hair. I was a freak for the band 311, and that actually ties perfectly into the story, right? So I was huge into 311, and I was huge into America Online as a kid, getting into the early goings of social media. And, go ahead.
Nothing.
No, that's what social media was. Like you had like these, you bulletin boards, you had like your chat rooms and all this stuff that you back in the mid 90s. That was like how we interacted online. And I
loading porn really, really
slow. Very slowly. Sorry,
that's what was going through my mind.
So when you click on that link in the chat room for a picture of boobs, it takes 14 minutes to get one nipple to show up.
Right before it gets to the good part. Yeah.
Delete it.
Oh man. So anyways, going back to that story. So I became very close friends with a girl I met on America Online, and she was from Texas, and
my exes are.
Her name Debbie.
Her name is not Debbie. And I actually sent her the link to the show, so I don't think she's listening in, but she might jump in and tune in. I hope she does. That'd be fantastic. So we became super, super close. She was somebody I talked to every single day.
Can I stop you? Are you sure? Are you sure that we weren't the original Catfish?
No,
right,
no,
yeah, right.
I wasn't, and I'll explain to you why.
Okay, all right.
So we became super close to the point we would talk to each other on the phone. We were both in love with the band 311, and we got so close. She was one of my best friends at the age of 16, 17 years old. Someone who probably knows more about me at age 16, 17 than anybody. And then one summer, her family actually had to make a trip to Boston, and they stopped.
How convenient!
They stopped on their way, and I got to meet her. I met her family. They made a pit stop in my hometown, and I got to meet her. And it was one of those incredible moments. Like, where people were like, "What the hell are you doing?" Like, you met somebody on America Online, and you're going to meet them. Which is obviously that was revolutionary. That shit didn't happen. Like, right. that wasn't even heard of. And I was like, fuck yeah, this is going to be amazing. And I remember I hung out with her this one afternoon. We went to the mall. Like, that's what you did. We went to the mall. We hung out. We did everything. And it was like this, 16, 17-year-old, just full of emotions, a budding love story type of situation. And it was beautiful. It was amazing. Right. And then we got older, and we just I went to college, she went to college, and things just kind of spread apart. Right. until yesterday. I'm driving to work and I'm listening to the news. I'm hearing an interview with, I think it was like the chief of police or somebody on the town council. I don't know what it was, from McAllen, Texas, which is where she was from. And I was like, you know what? And I was talking to my wife the other day, and she's been making it a point to really, if she starts thinking about somebody or someone in her life that she hasn't talked to in a while, she's making it a point to really to reach out. And going back to my original part of the story about you never know, and it's always important to reach out to let people know you're thinking about them. So I heard that town, and I was like, shit. I got to work. I got to work early, which I normally do. And I sat there and I started doing the whole Google thing. I started going crazy. I'm like, I got to find her. And I did. I totally did. I absolutely 100% did. And I found her on LinkedIn. And I was like, holy shit. So I reached out and she got back to me and we've reconnected, which is like this most beautiful thing. Right. And just fast forwarding through the last 23 years of our lives, catching up on where she's gone, and she's living in DC now with her wife, and she's married to her wife, living in DC for the last 8 to 10 years, and we're just now making that connection of just kind of following up and catching up on everything that's happened in the last 20 some odd years, and it's fucking awesome. Like it has been such a good release from the other side of the story that I started off with of losing somebody, but regaining somebody, whether that be through conversation or whatever, has really kind of put me in a good place this week. And
what does she do in DC?
She was a writer, marketing writer. She did a lot of writing and marketing for I don't have it up. I couldn't tell you, but for like a nonprofit organization. Doing great work, like just doing really good shit.
Because it's not cheap living in DC.
No, it's not. But what's even crazier is that I'm kind of going through, and we're now connected on Instagram, and we're looking at our pictures, and I'm looking, and I'm like, we've literally crossed paths like probably 100 times in different places.
Chat room.
So much so like the same restaurants. She was at Red Rocks the same time I was at Red Rocks. Like all this crazy shit. Like same day. Like we had
really.
And
yeah. You didn't recognize her?
Well, no, we didn't see each other. Like, but I'm just referencing dates and time. I'm like, Jesus, like we've literally crossed paths like probably 100 times.
Forrest Gumping across the universe.
Yeah. But it's just a really cool, it's a really cool, ending to the week that I've had, and kind of like in the positive side of some really terrible shit that's kind of happened recently. But man, I feel good, and that's why my name this week is feeling nostalgic, because I'm going back and forth and just remembering and pulling back all these crazy fucking memories. And it's beautiful, man. So my advice, the moral of the story again, is just to say, if you're thinking about someone who meant something to you or didn't mean something to you, or you just want to reach out, fucking do it. Like reach out and make that connection, because
you know what, you convinced me. Hey, Matt.
I would, but the court, I would violate the court order. So
it could mean the world to you or to the person. So take that step and reach out and say hi.
Nice.
I really thought this story might go in the Forrest Gump way, and that you met this girl all these years ago, and then all of a sudden you see her again, and like you see like this 25-year-old kid walk by, and you're like. She's like, oh, his name is Chris. And he's like, oh, that's cool. You named him Chris. She's like, I named him after his daddy.
Oh, no. I was
Is that mine, Jenny?
16, 17-year-old kid. But man, it's again, I can't tell you how much. You
can still get someone pregnant at 16.
I don't know how much. I can't tell you how much joy it's actually brought, especially in a time like now, to make that reconnection. So I encourage everybody here to do that. Like reach out to that person that you haven't talked to forever and just see.
The old phone company, reach out and touch someone. You can't do that.
Can't do that. Get to that. Imagine if someone
don't touch them too much.
Imagine if they proposed that line today. Like, whoa, dude.
Yeah. Whoa.
Anywho, so that's my week in a nutshell. Really.
Well, it was a sad story in the beginning, but a nice.
Yeah.
I still feel bad for the kid, 22 years old. That's just far too young.
I mean, you must owe a shit ton of child support. Oh, you mean that kid?
fucking terrible.
So no,
Guys.
Matt, you're right. You're all right, Matt.
Wait, that was Nick.
These two, not so much.
I just laughed.
Because I put you on top this week. You know, you're in the top square.
I do. I feel like I have some.
I was trying to lift you
out
out
this week.
It's
Nick makes a joke and I get lumped in.
It's tough finding out. You know, I found out recently, like a longtime artist friend passed away, and it's one of those things that, like, when you find out someone in your age group or even younger or older, but somebody that you knew and maybe you lost contact with, or but you know, suddenly they're gone, and you're just like, no, like that. How could they have? What? You know? So it's reassuring to see all of the outpouring of other artists that have come together to actually like get his work out there, because I would say that is the biggest hurdle that any artist faces as they pass away, is that they really need, you know, Van Gogh would be no one if it wasn't for his brother.
Right.
You know, I mean, there are a lot of artists out there that, like, they die and then their artwork just, they have no output for it. And it really does take other artists to, like, you know, make the team happen, you know? But yeah, it's devastating when we find out when we lose someone. I'm
getting that age. It's not a shock anymore.
It's funny, like
I thought you were older than me.
I am.
So you admit that now. But on the Facebook, you like to like make little comments, little snidey, you know, things. But, you know, your backdrop says another story. You're just going to nod and smile. Okay, fair. Okay.
Again, you're a little uptight, man. You're tightly
I'm a
wound
little
tonight.
itchy because, you know, you're coming at me with this blue jean bullshit. Here is proof. This is me in my sledding gear with my daughter.
Photoshop.
Yeah.
That doesn't even look like you.
I think you're wearing blue jeans underneath.
I'm not wearing my glasses. Yeah, I am wearing blue jeans underneath.
So it is like,
so you're still wearing blue jeans.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like saying, like, oh, do you sled with your bones in your body? Oh yeah, I do. Because I can't.
So your jeans, you consider your jeans to be like your bones. Okay, they're always there.
So you did have jeans on.
Underneath the snow.
So this whole time, though, you were making a big fuss about not wearing jeans.
No, I'm making a big fuss because, like, I'm in the ER and my wife is taking me out of these overalls because I'm burning up hot, and I almost passed out twice. So, you know, whatever.
Hot?
Fucking guess. Hot, yeah.
Turned out hot.
Anyway, I'm giving the peace sign because this is what my daughter always does. And shout out to my daughter who turns 14 tomorrow.
Wow.
Talking about turning old. Is
this the sled you got hurt on?
Yeah, it is actually.
So you went off a jump on this thing?
So, okay, I'm going to give you some commentary on this. Like, if you voluntarily went down a hill,
those red sleds are good.
Fucking sled.
Those red sleds are solid.
To be injured.
You like an inner tube would have been a much better.
Yeah. No. I would have gone into the creek. If I was doing inner tube, I would have been in the creek. I would have lost. I still would have lost hold of the.
There's a creek where you could drown.
Yeah. It's just like I live in basically like Bedford Falls. Like, kids go into the creek. I think I said this at some point. Like this season, I actually witnessed a little girl go into the creek. You've never seen dads run so fast after a kid. It was maybe I said it on an after show or a bonus, but during the sledding adventures earlier this
was there free beer? They're running so fast.
No, and these dudes rolled up in their camo outfits, so they have no sledding experience. And then they push this 5-year-old down on this inner tube, and she just goes whoop, right into the creek. It was a solid 2 Mississippi before you heard that girl scream, and somebody was getting a talking to that night.
Mm-hmm.
You mean nobody's blocking? No one's there to catch people before they go in the creek?
Not when you have 4 dads at the top of the hill, like pushing their little daughter down. Apparently,
that is just I'm just saying that's irresponsible.
Hey, it was amateur. It was amateur hour. So,
But you talking about like collective dads doing. I'm always amazed at the collective protection, ism or whatever of people in a group like that, though, because when I was in Arches National Park during Thanksgiving, you get to the top of Delicate Arch. And it's this really slim spot, and then the rest of it's like a basin going down, like really steep. And this little kid had a plastic water bottle and dropped it, and it rolled down the thing. And you see this little kid immediately, as soon as he drops it, like start to chase the water bottle. And every single person that was up there was looking in that direction because that's where the arch was. But you hear everyone at the exact same time go, "No!" And like the kid just stops dead, and like, oh, okay, I guess I did something wrong here, because it's like you would, within a few more feet, he would have lost control and fallen down the cliff. So, but it's just, that's one of those things that, like, it was horrible, but you also loved that moment because it was like everybody was like looking.
Well, how old was the kid?
Probably 7, if oldest.
And he has no leash on or no. Seriously, a 7-year-old, they how these kids are. There's shiny object.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I grew up in the 80s where, my parents let me do whatever the fuck I wanted, like a lot of parents did.
The 80s were nothing.
But, I know compared to you. I know you had lead toys, but,
chew on it.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw on, was it Reddit, there was somebody had a picture of a tweet saying, I grew up in the 80s where our parents didn't let us stay in the house. They kicked us out and had us go run out and play. And it was like survival of the fittest, because it was like, the weakest link would be found on a story on Unsolved Mysteries, and you had to like battle your way out through life. It's so true.
Yeah.
We'd be outside all day long, and we wouldn't come home unless we were coming home to eat lunch.
Why would I come home get in trouble? Why would I come home get a beating? I just would be outside playing.
So I grew up on a farm, so it was a lot of space.
Yeah, we know the sheep.
We know.
Yeah.
No, the sheep was for such a. You guys pick up on this. You guys are assholes. I'm gonna leave this podcast and go somewhere.
So speaking of the 80s, so the other night I watched Fast Times at Ridgemont High for the first time in like.
Fast Times at
15, 20 years. I haven't watched that movie in forever.
Based on a school and where I grew up.
Yeah. And dude, what a great movie that actually is. That would never be made today.
It's based on true things. That's what's crazy about it.
I know.
Because Cameron Crowe, was young enough, but he was old. He was like 22, I think, when he went to the school and went undercover.
Well, Rat was pissed at the guy. Rat was pissed at him, Ratner, and he gave him a guitar, and that's suited everything over. But it has Phoebe Cates, who was the 80s.
Yeah, and Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yeah. I don't know. Thing is that like
who was her father?
In the
I
movie?
have no idea.
I don't know.
Vic Morrow.
The famous Vic Morrow.
Have you heard of the Twilight Zone accident?
With
the helicopter.
Yeah, that actually happened.
Good old Spielberg killing people.
So what?
It was Carpenter, wasn't it?
I think
John
Spielberg
Carpenter?
directed that one.
I don't think it was Spielberg.
There's 5 sections in the Twilight Zone movie.
Landis.
John Landis.
John Landis was the guy.
John Landis. Yeah, it was Landis. 100% Landis. Because
I
remember
he got sued.
Because the same year the movie came out, actually, right? So I actually, whenever I go back and I watch that, of course I'm sitting there, I get the movie up on the left, and I've got IMDb. I'm researching kind of like what's going on, just kind of get a real picture of like what it's all about. And like that, her parents died like when that movie, like the same year that movie came out, and then she settled with Spielberg, I think Spielberg and Landis for an undisclosed amount.
Yeah, they had the helicopter too low, and the explosives hit the propeller.
Yeah,
that's
but Vic Morrow, he was in combat. He was in if you look at his resume, he was in a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I to this day cannot hear Midnight Special without thinking of that movie.
Yeah.
by Creedence Clearwater. It's in the opening scene, Matt.
Okay.
If you don't remember. Yeah, it's Dan Aykroyd. And they're cruising down the road, and they're listening to Creedence, and then the tape gets eaten in the tape deck, and then they start talking about scary stories.
I thought you were still talking about Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
No. I thought we were talking about the Big Lebowski.
No, talk about Twilight Zone movie.
You're never going to get that Creedence tape back, though.
And then and then Dan Aykroyd's like, "Hey, you want to see something really scary?" And then if that comes on random on my radio. I don't know why I always expect someone to say that line, but most people don't get it because they have not seen that movie. And I'm like, oh man, because
it's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah. I mean, and then, of course, the one that's memorable though is the John Lithgow at the end, of course, something on the wing.
It's not in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
No, he's talking about the Twilight Zone movie. But back to Fast Times. So like the people that were in that movie, it's amazing.
Yeah,
like the cast.
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn. I mean, Nick Cage was in it. He didn't have a speaking role, but he was in it.
Mm-hmm.
Judge Reinhold.
But he was Nick. What's his Coppola? He wasn't Nick Cage then. He was Nick Coppola then.
Yep, and then Eric Stoltz,
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards
with hair.
And it's funny. I didn't realize that was Anthony Edwards, and I was looking at the cast on IMDb. I'm like, that's Anthony. Holy shit, it's Anthony Edwards. But yeah, man, and I'll tell you that was kind of like the beginning of like my nostalgia week, right? So like I'm sitting here and watching this movie and remembering like going to the mall. Like that was like that's what we did.
Yeah.
We went to the mall and we just hung out. Even going back to the story about my friend that I met that summer that came and visited, that's what we did. We fucking got in the car and we went to the mall.
Close talk. The close talk.
Mall rats.
Yeah, dude, total mall rats.
Did you think it helped? Did it hold up for you? The movie?
God, no, of course it didn't.
No,
but like,
it's not funny to you anymore.
Oh no, I mean, held up in what sense? Let me clarify.
I mean, is it still? I mean, obviously, it's behind the times, but is it still entertaining? Because my sister said it didn't hold up.
So I thought it was definitely entertaining, but that might be because I'm kind of like holding on to that nostalgia bit of it, like going back and thinking about back in the 80s. I will say, the one thing that was
you dick.
Yeah, you did. I will say though, like it reminded me a lot of the schools that I went to, right? Because I just seeing like the minor details of the way the doors were in the classrooms totally reminded me of the grade schools that I went to school and growing up, like the old shitty like old construction schools that never got updated. That reminded me a lot of school. But I will say the themes of it were like it hit me hard. It really did. Like, I mean, not to sound like cheesy or like or too simp like, if you will, but like just going through the whole themes of like the abortion scene or the abortion theme to the movie is fucking disturbing. Like it really is.
Since when do you go bowling?
Oh, I know, right? Like, but like just like the coldness of how that was handled in the movie versus what that is reflected in today. It hit hard. It really did. So I mean, I kind of felt gutted during that scene, but
I can tell you as much because it was based on the year that I graduated. So there was in our school there was more than one Spicoli. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's all kinds of Spicolis. I mean yeah, it's. I still think I haven't watched it in a couple of years, but I laugh at it every time I see it. It still cracks me up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's only a handful of films though that really. You're saying did it hold up? There's only a few that really hold up multi-generations.
Comedies are hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just anything though, like because usually people like films because either it reflects the time they remember or it's something they can relate to personally. But there's only a handful of films that people will continue to watch. It's like this is a timeless movie. Like it always. But you're right about comedies because I mean, you think of American Pie that came out when roughly Matt, me, and Chris all graduated. We're a little past graduate. That movie does not hold up really today. Like, it's still okay, but like, it's not something I'm gonna like. Oh man, let's watch American Pie. It's just like,
No. But I'll watch I mean, granted, I haven't in 20 years or 15 years, but I'll watch Fast Times.
I'll watch Fast Times. I'll still watch Dazed and Confused. You know.
Forrest Whitaker is in.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So in Princess Bride, Randy says in the chat, absolutely, I can watch that any day of the week.
I've still never seen Princess Bride.
What?
Are you
serious?
fucking kidding me?
I'm serious.
Okay.
We lost Jack from pure stupidity, really. I mean, on his part. I mean, to never see Princess Bride, I mean, that's like up there. Like, that's got to be like top 10 like best family movies of the 80s. Sure. And you never, no wonder Jay has such issues with you. I mean, geez. Welcome back, Jack.
So Will in the chat mentions Can't Hardly Wait. So Can't Hardly Wait is my graduation year. Nick, I think yours as well. That was graduating class of 1998.
Do you know how to spell?
It's fuck off, dork.
Yeah. Dork? Really? Okay.
Dork? Oh, okay.
It's like he dropped a dork on you.
Yeah, I know.
So Can't Hardly Wait. That was a class of '98 movie. I think American Pie was after we graduated.
Yes, I've seen Animal House and Caddyshack. I've both seen. Yes, I still love those two movies.
Yeah,
I think Caddyshack holds up better than Animal House does. I mean, I like them both. I love them both. They're both classics, but I think Caddyshack is more timeless than Animal House.
Yeah.
What is that on your uniform?
A pledge pin.
I just saw the video. I just saw the Twisted Sister video.
Yes,
where he's in there. I was like, I forgot about this. Oh my god!
Yeah, we're not going to take it. That was accompanied that movie. But there you go. I mean, so you have like there's two of those movies you mentioned though. So Animal House and what was it? Dazed and Confused. But here's the thing. Here's kind of the caveat for those two films is that they're both period movies, right?
Yeah,
but they're filmed not during the period, right?
Yeah, so decades later. Yeah,
right. So the decades later. So it's a little bit different. Like when you're thinking of something like Fast Times.
Another John Landis movie. It was Animal House.
So you think about like Fast Times. Fast Times was live in motion. That was the time in which it was made.
Right.
So it's a little bit different. So I think that you kind of get a little bit of a pass on some of those. But
I know that Kevin Bacon tells a story that Landis kept them separated. He kept he kept them separated, and he was so pissed because all the fun was on the other side. He was stuck with all the crap. But I always thought they could have done a sequel. They could have been in Vietnam.
Which is why I fucking love Ready Player One and Ready Player Two because those movies just
Ready Player Two has a movie?
Not movie, the book.
Okay. Thanks.
Sorry. But they dive so much into it. Like in Ready Player Two is really influenced by John Hughes.
That was called The Deer Hunter.
Real quick, before we get too far away from John,
that is a comedy.
Some of the Animal House, and I think I've talked about this on a previous episode or podcast, but A Futile and Stupid Gesture. It's a National Lampoon documentary about kind of the early times of National Lampoon.
Outstanding.
It's really worth a watch.
It's outstanding.
Yeah.
What's it on?
It's on Netflix. A Futile and Stupid Gesture.
It's about the National Lampoons, how they the tie
how it came to be. It's like in its infancy.
Yeah, very, very cool.
And all of the influences that it had, and it basically goes right up, I think, to Caddyshack, and then kind of like the end for certain characters. But it came out in 2018. I think it was a bit of a sleeper
good
movie, but
I've never heard of it.
I'll check it out.
You know what else is in its infancy?
Commercial breaks?
This episode, because we're ready for a commercial.
Break me off a piece of that commercial break.
38.58.
Well, Animal House had a lot of stars in it too.
It sure did.
I mean, the guy that plays D-Day, he's in fucking everything.
Yeah.
He literally, if you can't swing a dead cat without hitting him in a movie. He's in everything, man.
Good to know.
It's a line from MASH.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
That's the first time I've ever heard that line.
Oh.
Swinging a dead cat?
Yeah, it just threw me off. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to reject you because you're not an idiot for never watching Princess Bride, but you know.
Yeah, for real.
I will watch. It's on my.
I
list.
just can't believe you've never seen that. It's such a and it's so
what year?
up.
What year did it come out?
86, 87?
Yeah.
87?
Somewhere in there, 87 or 88.
88, yeah. It was like 86 to 88 is a blur for me. You know,
I had a kid. I already had a kid then. Did I?
Hey,
yeah.
Dude, I was going through a divorce and, you know, moving around.
I know you're smoking heavily because I saw.
I was.
X-ray.
Yeah. You know, it was weird. I was so against my mom smoking for so long. You know, like, and you know, I used to like take water bottles and just like spray her cigarettes so they'd be wet.
What a dick!
I did the exploding.
Oh, she was pissed. I mean, she'd get pissed. I was like, I want you to quit, you know, and you know, I'm like 10 years old, like trying to save her life. And
what's weird for me is just growing up in that time period is I remember going to vending machines and buying my dad cigarettes, you know, like just putting in, you know, $2 of quarters and like, you know, getting the pack out. Like, here you go, Dad. You know,
the 60s, they had the coolest ashtrays. They just did.
Fisher Protocol. Are you talking about John Landis was in the last?
I think you're talking about the guy from Animal House.
Oh yeah.
D-Day.
D-Day.
What's it? Bob or Brad or?
Yeah. I was thinking of Time Cop. So
how is John the UPS guy never seen Princess Bride either? Don't give me the hands up in the air like I never like. Come on, it's like so sour.
I don't know why I had so. What I do to my mom. Bruce McGill, that's what it is. What I do to my mom is I take the plastic off.
He's in MacGyver. He's in fucking MacGyver.
Yeah, he's in everything. He's fucking in everything. You look him up. He's in everything.
Is he still alive?
Is he on Fans Only?
He might be.
Oh yeah, my dad used to get the little exploding fireworks. Did you ever get those? Like you can these little bitty things. You stick them inside cigarettes, so when they light them, the whole cigarette blows up.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I never did that.
I didn't want to get my ass kicked.
Yeah, I did that to my dad a few times. Yeah,
and you never got your ass beat from that?
I never got my ass beat. Yeah,
wow.
Because the thing is that they make a little crackle sound. So the first time it happens, you know, it's just a complete surprise. But every time after that, it makes a little sound before they finally go off, so you could hear it, and then like throw the cigarette before it blow up. So it's kind of like a little surprise, or you know, like I beat you. You know.
Man, I miss cigarettes.
I never smoked. My mom said she'd kick my ass, and she was a smoker. I
smoked all throughout high school and college.
Let's see your lungs. Probably not too good.
They're good now. I mean, I haven't smoked a cigarette.
They probably look better than Matt's. You know.
Yeah.
My lungs didn't look that bad. I mean, seriously, I wasn't in there.
Oh, you know what? It probably was the blue jeans were covering up your lungs there.
It's been over a decade since I smoked. At least.
Really? It's been since I quit in 2003. It was exactly a year after my mom passed, and it was something that I, you know, set out to do basically. You know?
Yeah.
Lost my grandfather to emphysema, and you know, it is a hard thing to kick though. It is not easy because it just gnaws at you. So and
I think it's a habit. You know. My speaking of X-rays, my grandmother, my dad's mother, her and my dad both have anxiety, undiagnosed anxiety, and both of them smoke because it's something to do to keep their mind off of being nervous. And my grandma, fixation, and they never, neither one of them. Well, my grandmother passed away, but like neither one of them could quit because it's more of the habit of this ritual.
Yeah.
But both of them are shallow smokers, and that like they both had lung X-rays. And like their lungs are perfectly fine. Like it's just it's something to keep their mind occupied.
I used blow pops actually to help me quit, like suckers, because of just like the actual
blow pops are great.
Because not only did you get like the hand to mouth part, but then you got the blowing of the action of like the bubbles afterwards and stuff. I know I said hand to mouth. I shouldn't.
And then blowing. I mean, so
so much going on.
Fucking all in.
You must be looking at this guy.
I don't know. You put him in your back there.
He's a stud.
He is. I mean, he's a good looking guy. I mean, let's just face it.
Hey, wow, God quit in 2003 too. Awesome.
Oh, nice job, God.
October 3rd. So
I think God should pick it back up, though, don't you?
So, as somebody who's, as you guys know, and I probably make it a point to mention this once an episode. The guy who's not.
What year did you quit Sheep, Matt?
Oof.
Wait, who says he has? How do you think he quit? How do you think he quit smoke? How do you think he quit smoking?
I'm no quitter. So as someone who's wait, pull that dork sign again. That was fantastic. Truth be told, I have been seriously perusing trying to find a lightsaber. I want to buy one so bad, and just have it in here somewhere, but I can't bring myself to spending $200-300 for it.
Okay, so you want the actual light?
You want the light up one.
I want a legit
not just
one.
These are fun though. You get the pop up ones.
No. But
look. You have a son
Whoa!
and a daughter.
I got to do this again. These are fun.
I'm telling you, there is nothing better than like having a mega family lightsaber.
But the sheep still smoke.
I'm removing Jack because he just talks over my shit. Anyway, I'm telling you, Chris, you're missing out on lightsaber battles with your kids, son and daughter. Take them both on with lightsabers. Have Nerf gun battles. This is fun. It's the Jedi.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Welcome back, Jack.
I'll probably pick up a couple of the toy ones this summer.
It's fun.
I mean, the high dollar light ones though, you can fight with those too.
The ones I was looking at, they're like, I forgot what name of the organization they're part of, but there's like some like federation of like fucking like duelists like who actually go and they have competitions. These are like rated to go and like whack the shit out of each other with these lightsabers. And a part of me is like, man, I really want to get one of these. But I look at I click on add to cart and it's like $275. And I was like,
like really ever gonna use this? Yeah.
I can't do that. That's a terrible idea.
What's the gun they use called? I mean, what's the
blaster?
Okay, yeah. Can I just bring a blaster and just win the tournament that way?
Dude, have you not watched Star Wars?
No.
That's Uncivilized, and I will reflect that bastard bolt right at your face.
Right back, yeah.
So anyway,
if they have the Force, maybe.
Well, if you have a lightsaber, you should.
And that's what's fun about playing.
But these dorks don't have it.
It's what I'm telling you. This is what's fun about having a lightsaber and a kid with a Nerf gun because you can do that. You can try to like reflect, and it's kind of you're not always
going to live your boyhood Jedi dream.
It's fun. I'm telling you.
So, anyways, like I said,
I don't think you're Jedi material. Sorry, Matt. I just don't see it. You never see a Jedi walking around.
Jedi in blue jeans. Yeah.
I'm your father.
Well, you know what?
So, why are you wearing mom jeans?
You know what? I will just say I'm just gonna pull out the big guns here and just say this much. At least I'm vaccinated. All right.
Oh yeah! Congratulations, my friend.
Congratulations to you. La-di-da.
My wife got hers this week too. She got the Johnson & Johnson Janssen vaccine because in Massachusetts school.
I'm not even on the radar yet.
What? They don't have your age group on the radar in your state?
No.
I mean, I thought my state was shitty.
But yes, what is funny though is I see people on Facebook from North Carolina that are younger than me. I got my vaccination. I go,
well, you can get your vaccine because you can get put on a waiting list.
I know you guys told me that, but I'm just going to go. My wife's in the fourth group.
Many people who have them are having them because they're going in saying they have the comorbidities. And you know what? Part of me is like, fuck these guys. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Like, it benefits me that they're getting it too. So,
I wear a mask.
Anyways, so as I said before, as I mentioned, at least once.
Does this story have an ending, Chris?
I haven't fucking started it yet because you assholes keep jumping in. I want to know, so what happened with our verses last week?
Oh, well, I was going to actually wait because I was late. You're not on Facebook, so you wouldn't know this, but I was late posting it. I was going to let it ride.
Oh, all right.
I forgot all about it.
Let's just say this. No one cares.
That's fair.
No one cares who won.
We're just going to say that basically the white man pick is probably going to win. Whereas the other people who have more of a diverse and very, eclectic and rich musical history with their picks, we're
you're still a loser.
Okay.
You can sugarcoat it all any way you want.
Hey, I'm just saying the better musically song is not going to win. So,
according to you, now who sounds like Trump?
I don't know. You're the loser.
What you just said is something Trump would say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about, Jack?
No, he just said the better song didn't win. I won the election.
All right.
Hey, no, I'm not saying that I won the election. I'm just saying that the actual more intelligent.
In your opinion, Trump, you can say whatever you want.
No, it's just based on our lowly voters.
Well, there was, I think, more votes for other songs than there was for anything. It's just like, what about this one? What about this one? What about this one?
Right.
I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but I don't think most of them listen to us.
No.
So it's just like, you guys not get the verses?
You pick this what?
Yeah. So we can talk shit about them as much as we want to on the show, but it's not
because they don't listen.
A bit of a difference because they're not listening anyway.
I will say this one. I will say this much though about all of the comments, because usually on the comments of like, why didn't you pick this? Why didn't you pick this? At least this time, with everybody posting their songs, I actually really enjoy it, because this is one of those times where people are just sharing like other really great Beatles covers, and there's a ton out there. There's so many really good ones out there. So
it's hard to pick one of the four, because even we weren't going to shit on each other, because all four of our picks I think are valid picks, and they're.
Well, the pick I was going to take the Stevie Wonder one, and you took it, and that's the last one. That's in last place, right?
I don't care what's in last place.
No,
I'm
saying I was
more progressive than Joe Cocker, but hey,
I don't know why I hate dead people.
It's because people vote for what they know, and everyone knows the Joe Cocker cover.
Hey, so, if Wonder Years started off with something more ethnically diverse than Joe Cocker, then people would be picking.
Did I share my Wonder Years fun fact last week?
No, because we were all sad last week.
If you did, we were sleeping.
That's how you got into Marilyn Manson.
So Wonder Years was aired in 1988, and it took place in 1968. So if the Wonder Years aired today, it shit, place in 2001.
Oh my god.
Right.
Oh man.
Well, there's so many weird things that I think about
Space
now
Odyssey.
as well. It's like you think about like The Wedding Singer with Adam Sandler. That movie came out in 1998, and it's supposed to be taking place in 1984. Now, because we were all in our teenage years when that movie came out, 1984 seemed like a billion years ago, to us. But now you're like, wow, that was really only 14-year difference between the time. You're like, oh wow,
that was the first time the Padres went to the World Series.
There it is. Ding, drink.
That's what I remember about 1984.
Well,
it was a very good year.
As Randy mentions in the chat, there were some really great covers posted in there. No Ethan, no be picked Keith Moon singing In My Life.
No one even thought about Keith Moon.
No.
Right?
No. Sorry.
All right. Well, we're going to try to keep this portion of the show a little bit shorter, mainly because what? Why don't put down Ethan? He's listening and reading. So
we're doing a leftovers rewatch, and I'm just trying to get him pumped up for it.
Okay. Well, apparently you have some weird relationship there.
Did you not watch the leftovers?
No, I've seen the leftovers. Yeah, I've seen.
I think I'm the only person on the planet that didn't like the leftovers.
What? Well, you never got through the first. Did you not get through the first season?
I watched the entirety of the series, and
what?
Kate.
All right, you're done. Can we mute him?
Dude, Jack swings from the leftover ball sack, and I'm just like,
Yeah. I mean,
season 2 and 3 were the best, some of the best television ever.
I liked them. I liked it. I would recommend it, but I can see why some people would not like it. So, I can. It's like even like with WandaVision though. I was really underwhelmed. Let's talk
about that really quickly.
I'm not done yet, but you go ahead.
Yeah, but I was underwhelmed with that at the beginning, and I felt it was too much build for very little payoff. Because at that point when you have 5 to 6 episodes of build and theories, it'd be like, oh, what's this going to mean? Like, what's this person? All of a sudden you get to the end and you're like, oh, none of that shit mattered. It's like a J.J. Abrams movie. You're like, fuck you. Like,
I didn't feel that way. I guess I came from it from another.
Is there going to be another season?
No.
There could be.
Oh, there could be, but you know.
There really could be because
I didn't hate WandaVision.
That show got so much clout and popularity. There's no way they're not going to make a second season. It would be stupid. There was some really, really exquisite dialogue there at the end, and I was moved. And you know, my son and I, 10 years old, doesn't know a thing about love or falling in love. We're watching this, and he was moved to the point where he was emotional about it. Yeah.
And to me, like, I was just like, and I didn't know that at first. Like, we were actually talking to my wife because she's watched a couple episodes, but she's not like, diehard, like she's going to watch every episode. But, my son and I, for our viewing experience as just kind of like Avengers fans or fans of the MCU, it was fun because it was very Lostian. It started off with all of the mystery,
right.
and I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, Nick, as far as like the payoff of some of those lost elements. Right. Maybe not be like as gratifying. However, the emotional payoff I felt outweighed all of that to me, and I enjoyed what it set up. Now, was the ending a little clunky? Yeah, they were trying to fit a lot in that last episode, and I know there were things that were left out, and they had to like stream it together. Right. But when it came down to the very last moments of the episode, and those scenes, they had almost a Twilight Zone-esque feeling. I mean, I was kind of worried, like, "Hey, buddy, are you going to be okay tonight when I say goodnight to you?" Because I was like, hey, man, like, that's. For a 10-year-old boy watching like 10-year-old boys going to bed at night and not knowing what their future holds, that's pretty haunting shit. I mean, and I loved the heart that came through. So to me, I was like, okay, like this is great. Like, give me more of this in the future. So
I guess you're hitting it right on the head. Is like where I didn't hate the story of WandaVision at all. I get it. I get where it was started, where it ended, like what the point of the series was. But I always kind of like that. I don't like that when they leave a lot of those loose ends, because that's what it was. It's like you see, it's all leading into other Marvel stories. It's like where
could they tie them up if they do another season?
Yeah, they could, or they're going to be tied into the movies because, like,
it'll take one line of dialogue in the Doctor Strange movie that will tie it all together.
That's the thing, but you wonder though, because the book that she has at the end is clearly one of the books that's missing from the Doctor Strange library. That's missing out of there. She's reading it, which is a very dark book. She's going to open up the multiverse. There's a lot of stuff that can happen with Wanda now, and especially at the end, that last little scene where you see the kids saying like "mom" and all this like that. She's clearly, that seed has now been planted, and that her kids exist out there in some realm, and so that she's gonna tear into this, trying to find her kids.
And it wasn't a bad little nod for Sam Raimi as well, because he directed that last final episode.
Oh, nice! I didn't know that.
It's a nice little touch with the Book of the Dead.
Oh, right.
That was kind of.
Oh,
cool.
yeah. And I saw some really great memes about that. Like, why couldn't this have been this? But I'm also excited because we get Winter Soldier. No, not Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier is coming up
next week, isn't it?
I think you're right. Yeah, I think it is.
I apologize. My contact lens is about to fall out. So
well, you know what that means.
I hate when that happens.
I do want to say.
Okay.
Have you guys caught up in watching For All Mankind yet? I know we've talked about it a number of times. Or
I would if I had Apple, but I don't. So
okay.
I need to put that on my list. I've been watching. So yeah, go ahead.
For anybody who's listening, For All Mankind, talking about those scenes that kind of like really kind of like hit you, you don't expect that from this show, but it does happen a couple of times, and it happened in this last week's episode. I'd love to hear if any of our listeners have been watching the show. Let me know. Shoot us an email at rcadcast@gmail.com. But Joel Kinnaman, who is one of the lead actors, actually had this one scene in this past week's episode that fucking blew me away. And it was one of those out of left field. You don't expect to have that type of scene kind of happen in this show. And it was honestly, like it was one of those moments where I'm like, holy shit, like this dude is like crushing it as an actor. Like it blew me away. It was heartfelt. It was a very parental type of scenario, and he fucking sold it. And it moved me to no end. And it made me really excited for next week's episode and what's going to happen. But it's on season 2 right now on Apple TV Plus.
I got to get back and watch it.
Yeah,
saw the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's a fantastic show. I can't.
I have so many shows like what's the superhero one on Amazon? The Boys. I just have the finale. I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, great.
I have so many episodes. I just have to. I mean, so many shows. I have like 1 or 2 episodes to go, and I just haven't. I've been watching Survive in the Office.
What are you doing with your time, Jack?
What are you doing with your time?
Watching kids.
They can handle the boys.
I told my daughter was saying something. I said, "You realize I watch your kid more than you do."
Ooh,
Her younger one.
Dad told me a failure of a mother.
I go. I'm doing 10 hours a day.
Yeah,
6:30 to 4:30.
He just sleeps.
Jesus, that's a lot
for
It's
free.
a lot.
You got any availability?
I get hugs. I get hugs.
If you got any openings, I'll
How old's your son now?
It's gonna be 2 next month.
2? Yeah, he'll fit right in because I got my grandson is 18 months and my granddaughter's 2.5 or something like that. She'll boss him around though because she's very bossy.
Emma's gonna be 9.
9. Holy shit!
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Just brought her to the eye doctor's today. Girl's getting some glasses. She can't see for shit.
Really? Well, who did she get that from?
Me.
The guy that just lost his contact.
Yeah, the guy who's out of contact.
Don't forget about your 25-year-old, son too, Chris.
Oh Jesus!
I really hope that you establish that relationship with him.
You fuckers! I tell this nice, heartwarming story.
No wonder he likes Tom Brady.
And you got to turn me into fucking Matt. What the shit?
Me? All right. Before this gets any nastier,
wait. That's why you like Tom Brady, right?
What's that?
Reagan and left her and went to someone else.
Oh, for fuck's sake! You guys are assholes. I actually initially hoped that she was watching and listening, but I really fucking hope she's not.
Oh, she might get a hoot out of it.
Yeah. Hey, if it runs in Massachusetts, I don't know where I was going with that, but
was she from Nantucket?
No, he was from Nantucket.
You're getting your rhymes mixed up.
Damn it! Yeah.
All right. If you did listen to this show for the first time and you want to send in an email, or if you've listened to it for the 1,000th time and you're just like, these guys are assholes or Matt fucks sheep, whatever you want to say, send us an email at rcadcast@gmail.com. Go over to jayandjack.com, become a patron, help us out, buy some merch. That always, or rate and review us on iTunes. We would appreciate that. There are a ton of people that make this show possible. Patrons at all sorts of levels, and we appreciate all of them. Yes. And we really appreciate everybody that joins us live. It really like seeing everybody's chat comments, even when we don't agree with you, like Got. What do you know about the WandaVision?
Here's my challenge, though.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this right now, because we know there's a lot more people who listen that don't go jump in live than do. There's no question about it. Love to have some new people in the chat. So if you're listening in and you're thinking about joining us live, do it next week. Come on and hang out with us. Jump into the conversation. It's a lot of fun.
And Got can't hurt you with his crap stuff.
Oh no, he's a teddy bear. But anyway, there's a couple patrons that make this show possible, and Got's not one of them. And I'd like Chris to go ahead and read these names because this is what we've been doing.
I will read them for you. If you can hang up or hold up right in front of the camera from me, it'd be fantastic. Tack Sexy back. Fast Times at Richter High.
I like that one. That's a nice one.
That's a good one. Credence Edgewater Revival.
Nice.
That's a good one.
You're on a fucking roll right now. Maggie Memory Lane. Yes.
These are all related to our show that we did today.
Man, so far you're doing great. Don't fuck it up. Blue Cheating Joanne. Yes. Keep it going.
And this is for everybody that hasn't.
Greg's getting vaccinated.
All right.
He is.
Nice.
And I just want to say he's younger than me, but that's okay. I'm cool.
Hey, you know, different states, different rules. I mean, I heard that Alaska's like, if you're 16 or older, you can get the shot in Alaska.
It's like 7 fucking people live there.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many people live in Alaska?
Hey, South Dakota has less people than Alaska, and somehow they're making it happen. So, thanks to everybody though that makes this show possible.
Yes, thank you,
and thank you, Chris, for reading those names.
Of course.
When you read them, it's like you like them better.
No, these. No, to be fair, these were
great. These were great. Your track record has been shit, but these are pretty good.
You're still hitting under 200 for the season.
Yeah. Broken collarbone almost took me out for the season, but I'm back. I'm back, baby. Okay, I'm going to. We're gonna have a bonus show. I don't know for how long. I don't know how long Jack can last because he is over 50, so it's hard for him to keep it up.
I'm close to 60.
That's
Pepe
crazy.
Le Pew.
He wants to talk about Pepe.
We'll talk about Pepe and all of the cartoon cancel culture that you want to talk about over in the bonus feed. I'm going to post that link in the Facebook patrons group.
I also want to talk about dog poop.
Oh, great. Yeah, way to sell those listeners. Thanks everyone for joining us. This was a great show. It was one in a million
Parsec,
I guess. One in a parsec. Not bad.
Good night, everybody.